and welcome to Cosy Coaching, where we're getting real about growth, one late night chat at a time. Roll the credits.
Hey there, friend. Welcome to Cosy Coaching.
Hi, I'm Sunita. I'm a confidence and mindset coach, and this is our time where we are going to get real deep about personal growth. I find that clarity really hits me when the busyness of the day has disappeared. I'm all comfy, I've wound down for the day, and I'm in my comfies, and that's what Cosy Coaching is all about. If you missed last week's episode, we spoke all about setting the foundation. So thinking about your values, thinking about creating your her, like creating a day in a life for her. If you've not watched that video, I'll link it down in the description. Go and start there and then roll on back over here and let's get into it. So today we're talking about honoring where we are now. Like, what does that actually mean and what does that entail? So for you clicked on this video, you saw honor thyself as the title. Well, I don't know if that's the title, but it might be right now. But it's all about thanking yourself for clicking on this video and taking that time to be like, I am ready to move my personal growth journey further. I am ready to step into my next level identity. And that's what honoring is where you are now. So you might be overwhelmed. You might have the mental load of everything that's going on. You might feel lost. You might feel stuck. You might be thinking, where the hell do I start? Or you even might be thinking, I've been on this journey for so long and I've not made any progress. Like, how can I get over this plateau? Just like a weight loss journey, like you hit a plateau and you just don't feel like you can edge over that next level. So you need to think about the next step. What is it that you possibly can do? And that's what I'm hoping that I can bridge that gap for you and help you to step over that threshold that's holding you back. I want you to understand that being on a self-growth journey, it's about self-awareness. You have to look at what it is that you're doing. What are you contributing to not being able to step into that next level? I have got so many stories where I have just realized that I was the problem, but also I'm the solution to this problem as well. And you can step over it. You can overcome it. So it isn't that it is hard, but looking at yourself, when they say look at your habits, look at your routines, and they can show you your future, that's what I had so much difficulty in getting over that next level. I'll give you an example of a story. So, it's really popular nowadays to be like, get your morning routine, have your morning routine, get up at 5 a.m. and all of that. I used to think, oh, that's just a farce. I'm a night owl. I'm a self-confessed night owl. I've always worked in nightclubs. I've always worked in bars. It's always been late nights for me. So I've never really been in that get up early mode. I'm not the early bird that catches the worm. No, I'm the night owl that will sleep until midday and then get up. That was just always my life for such a long time and in such a long period of time. But when they say that the words that you speak to yourself become your reality, I kept telling myself I was a night owl. So in turn, I was showing up as a night owl. You have to remember that the words that you say to yourself is what will become your reality. And it took me such a long time. Boy, did it take me a long time to realize that the more I kept saying, I'm a night owl, my brain would then just look for ways to reconfirm that I'm a night owl. So how did I turn it around and look at that morning routine and be like, okay, maybe I do need a morning routine. So how did I reframe that narrative when I hadn't learned some coaching tools that now I know better? Let me take you back to the reality of what my mornings actually looks like. So I've got 2 small kids. I would get up in the morning, an hour before I needed to leave. I would be then frantically running around trying to get my son ready. My husband would have got my daughter ready. And I'd be like shouting at these kids, being like, get ready, do this, put a shoe on, have breakfast, blah, blah, blah. Then I'm trying to get myself in the shower. I'm trying to do all of these things. And my mornings were just and I felt like I was just running from pillar to post. By the time I did school drop off and nursery drop off, got back home to log on to work, I was exhausted. Because I had not set myself a routine in order to be able to maximize what my time could actually look like. So it got to a period of time where I was like, I just want to stop shouting at these kids. These kids don't deserve me being in the mood that I'm in because I woke up, I've gone to bed late because I'm a night owl. I'm rushing us around. I'm just not focused. So I had to take responsibility and I had to accept that I was the problem here and I needed to make some changes. And I think this is what everybody seems to always forget about this personal growth journey is you have to accept sometimes that, yeah, you are the problem, but also you can be the solution. So what I did is I started delving into the world of social media and morning routines. What can I do? What does this look like? And also I was going through a period of time. I had just had my baby. I was back from maternity leave. I was still had the weight from my previous pregnancy. And I just didn't feel great in myself as well. And I just felt a little bit like, ugh. I can't describe it anywhere, but any other way other than I felt heavy. Like, oh my God, what can I do to change? So I was like, let's embark on a self-growth journey further than what I was already on. And let's incorporate some weight loss, some health into it. So I wanted to start walking. I was thinking about meditating and all of those things, but I didn't really know how to piece it together. So I read this book called The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. And to this day, I remember reading, there's this one sentence in it, and he's talking all about snoozing and how snoozing is just like basically diabolical as a better way that I can describe it. But there's a line in the book that says, do you want to lead a mediocre life or do you want to stop snoozing? It's not verbatim, but that mediocre word was definitely in there because that is what stung my soul. I was like, mediocre? Me? No, I rebuke that. I don't want that. I'm not mediocre in any way, shape or form. I need to sort it out. I need to get this morning routine on lock. So what did I do? After I read that, I decided that next day, it was happening. I was going to wake up at 6 a.m. I was going to throw some clothes on and I was going to go for a half an hour walk in the morning before my husband left for work. And then when I got back, I would then be on mum duty. So instead of waking up at 7 a.m., I would just threw myself straight into it. I was like, 6 a.m. or we can do this. Mediocre, that's not me. I'm not snoozing anymore. I'm going to get up at 6 a.m. on the dot. And guess what happened? You're probably thinking, Snita, you didn't wake up at 6 a.m. the next day. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I woke up at 6 a.m. the next day. I threw some clothes on and I went for a walk. I put the clothes out the night before, set myself up for a win, had my water ready, go out the door straight away. By 6:10, I was out the door, did my half an hour work, came back in. As I came back in, my husband was ready to leave the house and I was ready to then take over. And when I tell you that first morning, the peace, the tranquility, I wasn't shouting because I was able to then come in, have a quick shower, get my son ready, get my daughter her breakfast. He was having breakfast at nursery at the time, so I didn't have to worry about that. And I couldn't believe it. I was ready about 10 to 15 minutes before it was time to leave. And we were able to just sit down at the dinner table. When I tell you, mind was completely and utterly blown. I couldn't even believe it. I was like, is this how easy it gets to be? If I just make the decision to do this. And that's what started on this whole entire transformation of me then realizing, no, I don't need to be a night owl anymore. I can be a morning person. That book, that decision. So one book, one decision led me to where I am right now. And now I consistently wake up at 6 a.m. I get a workout in, I get ready. Some days are a little bit hectic. You can't predict children. But what I can do is I can predict myself. I can predict what I need to do in order to help them and let our mornings be a little bit more calmer. And it's incredible. So I'm not saying start with a morning routine, but I'm saying take something in your life that you've been telling yourself over and over again, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, especially if you want to change it. And that's why I brought that book, because I was like, I don't want to be a night owl anymore. Think about what it is that you need to change in your life and just make one small change. Commit to one small change that says that I have said yes to myself today. So whatever that looks like for you, you have to look at your life and be like, I've wanted to change this thing for so long. You can change it. What you can't do is change other people or what other people do in certain situations. But if there is something in your life that you've wanted to change for so long, and you know that if you just made a few tweaks here and there, you can do it, then do it. Tell someone about it. Let me know down in the comments what it is that thing is that you want to change, and I can help you to map out what that can look like. So now something for you. So something that you can actually take away from this. Like I said, think of something in your life that you would like to change. That you have the control, whether that is how you show up at work, how you show up in your business, how you show up to friends, maybe making time for them. Maybe you've neglected your friends and you want to make sure that you're having a monthly catch up with them. Put it in the diary. Tell them, let's make this a habit. Let's get this in the diary every single month that we do such and such. Get it in the diary. Whether that's your morning routine, your night routine, it is the presentation that you've been putting off. Whatever it is, take back the control. What is it that you can do to make that much better for your life, more seamless, something that you don't have to think about? And my favorite saying is, my sister will say to you, remove all barriers to entry and make it so easy that you can't even say no to yourself. And I want you to rate them from 1 to 10. How do you sit? So 1 being, that's chaos, I am not in a good place. And number 10 is going to be clarity. I'm clear on that, I'm solid on that, I'm really good with that. Like, I don't need to do any changes. And then what I want you to do is I want you to take 3 of those items and I want you to say, in Q1, I am going to make a conscious effort to make some changes in those areas so that your number can move by 3 or 4 digits. If it's below 5, I want you to start with that one. If most of your items in your life order are above a 5, I want you to pick the most significant that would give you so much value in your life. And I want you to use those to start with and just increase it. So it's not about moving. Let's say you've got one that is at a 6. Maybe you want to move it to an 8 and 9. Sometimes things are never going to be a 10, and that's okay. Be okay with that. But if there's anything on that list that is under 10, that's under 5, I want you to focus on 3 of those areas for Q1 2026. And then we're going to make some goals around them. These are the 3 top things that you're going to have solid. You're going to have your values. You are going to have you've created your her, and you're going to do your life audit, and you're going to really look at things that you can consciously change. Remember, you can't change other people. You can only change what you can control. And you're going to take 3 things from your life audit to increase. And that's it for today's episode. I have loved making these episodes. I hope you're finding some value in them. I want you to leave down in the comments areas that you want to improve on, that you can't quite figure out how you want to move forward in them. Pop them in the comments. I am going to be here responding to all your comments and listening to anything that you need help with. I'm here. And if you want to see more information, you want to get to know me a little bit better, then you can do that over on Instagram. I'm going to pop my handle down below. Follow me there on Instagram, and I'm going to see you next week, where we're going to delve in a little bit deeper on your roadmap to 2026. I'll see you next week, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm here, Cosy Coaching. We out. See you later. Bye.